Hey everybody, it's Bowie Barks back here with another crafting project. So I already do a lot of stickers and pins, things like that, and while those can be displayed, they're not displayed in the way that I really want to do some display work. I don't want to just make big prints that need to be, framed and nailed up on the wall, and if you're anything like me, you run out of wall space to put prints up, and I don't want them to be stickers that, you place and they're in one spot forever. So one thing that I wanted to do was make my own fridge magnets, because those, I feel like you can move them around a lot. I just had to move all of ours off of our fridge to clean them last weekend, and to clean the fridge. But then I was able to put them back and rearrange them, make them look how I wanted. And I want to try doing that, but I also want to be able to display other art still. So I have decided to create a few different frames, and I want to show you the first test that I'm doing today. I've decided to make a frame based on the original Game Boy cartridge. So if you are anything like me, pushing 40, you probably owned a Game Boy and played it. If not, back in the day, cartridges used to be a lot bigger. Not nearly this big. Spoiler, this is what we're going to be making. But, I think that this works out pretty well. So I'm going to go through the steps that I did to make this, which includes taking the design. I'm not going to go through making the design. I took an SVG of a Game Boy cartridge, and then I split it up between the outer frame, so just the square here with the little notches cut out in it, and then another piece that could just be engraved with the text and the little outlines of the cartridge itself. After we do that, we're going to put it through the laser cutter. That's going to, again, cut the piece of wood out and engrave it. And before that, since I already missed a step, I am going to stain the wood. I decided to take the wood and just give it a, dark gray stain to look kind of like a Game Boy cartridge. And then I'm going to be gluing on a magnet on the back of it, and the frame, which I ended up making this just the right size so that it can fit a trading card protector. So a 3x4 trading card protector. I made it just big enough that I don't need to worry about cutting that, and it still keeps the same ratio as the original Game Boy, and you can see that, it's perfect size here to frame something up. In this case, I just have a business card and some stickers, but I will come up with some pieces of art that are the right size for this frame. And it's a standard size that you can get portraits done if you're doing, want to put your own pictures in. But anyway, I'm going to go through in the video. I'm going to talk through how I made the different parts and some suggestions I have for the future. So one thing that I want to do in the future is I want to take these and I want to find a better way to glue them on. In my first attempt, I used super glue, and then I decided to peel off the old magnets because they didn't work great, which is why you can see that magnet back in there. And I got these other rare earth magnets that work a lot better. I used hot glue on this one, which I think works better overall, but I admittedly was a little worried about peeling off. But after it dried, it feels pretty solid. And, it's going to be in one place, so I don't have to worry too much about it coming off. But one thing I didn't think to do, which now that I've made both of these, I think I'm going to do for the future, is I'm going to spray it, before I put the frame on, I'm going to spray it with probably a satin or matte finish. Sorry, just to keep it, make it a little waterproof, make it look a little bit more like plastic, and keep it, preserved. I have not decided if I'm going to try to paint the letters onto each one. So original Game Boy cartridges, have no paint on them. They were all just the uniform gray color. But I think that you can see this one here is a little bit easier to see than the other one. So I'm still deciding on that. I'm still working on it. I plan on having these at my next Artist Alley booth. So if you attend an event that I'm at, you get to see them and hopefully purchase one if you like them. But I'm also going to be making them a bit more well-defined than these two examples that I've made today. You could do this in your own way. You could change the design, change the colors, use a different game cartridge if you'd like. My next intention is to make a smaller one that could potentially be a keychain with a Tamagotchi, because I made these wooden Tamagotchi keychains last year that I really enjoyed, but they were just, you know, with an open hole for where the screen would be, and I realized that would be great to put like a little Persona sticker, a small portrait of, you know, one of your friends or your partners, something like that. And so I'm going to be making those two, and I'm going to think about how I want to engrave them. I'll probably use a piece of acrylic instead to make them more like an acrylic charm, and also, you know, how I want to paint them, because one thing Tamagotchis are known for are being really brightly colored. Those are all future things. Right now, I just wanted to show you what I came up with so far. I'm happy with how this turned out, and I'm looking forward to finding new ways to make them even better. So I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, please like it. It really helps me out. I want to make a lot more crafting videos this year, and I want to talk more about attending craft fairs, attending artist alleys, attending events where I can share and sell my crafts with everyone, and also coming up with new ideas. So please subscribe, like, comment, do all the fun things. You know, I'm a small YouTuber, and it really does help. So, thank you all very much, and I will talk to you later. Bye.